Hi everyone, this is Selvi. Today's topic is estimation from the view of a developer and tester. First estimation activity happens in the backlog refinement meeting. So, when we will be doing the backlog refinement meeting, we will try to understand the requirement or the work item in detail, ask questions, get the clarity, and we will identify the dependencies, risks that are related to that work item, and we will ensure whether we have sufficient information to estimate it or not. When we have sufficient information, we will be ready for the estimation activity. Estimation can happen with different techniques. It can be with planning poker or it can be with complexity bucket. Whatever the way of estimation technique that we follow, we will be following the relative estimation model. We all know what is relative estimation model. We have already discussed in our previous episodes. So we will directly get into the topic of what is the view from a developer and a tester. What is the view here? Like for example, a user story we are trying to estimate. Now a tester can ask a question. See, I am a tester. I know how to test this user story. I know the use cases. I completely got the acceptance criteria. But how can I actually, on behalf of a developer, can estimate the story? I can think about only the testing part. And the same way, developer can say, I know what are the things that I need to do in the UI development. I know that what are the things that will come in the backend development. And I'm very sure what are the things that we need to do as part of the entire development practices like unit test case, writing unit test cases, sharing for the review, and all those things. I know the entire development process, but I'm not sure about the testing. How can I estimate on behalf of a tester? But the beauty of estimation is the estimation activity happens for a team level, not for an individual level. And the estimation value that is in story points will be shared by the entire team and not by an individual. So when I say it is a team, the team has both development activity, testing activity, documentation activity, and so on. So while estimating, we need to cover all these flavors and then give the estimation value. But how to take care of this? That is the reason why we have this refinement meeting. Otherwise, in simple terms, if only developer needs to take care of the development, product owner can call only the developers for a meeting and this is what you need to develop. Please go ahead and develop. And what is the time you say me? I can put the estimation and similarly call the testers and share the information about the testing scenarios and get the estimation, right? But we are not doing like that. As a team, we are doing. What is the advantage of doing as a team? We will see it later. But how to make this as a practice? That is very important. So we need to completely utilize this backlog refinement meeting in such a way that we are covering all the information is shared to all the people in the team. That means not only testing information alone should be taken care by a tester. Instead, what is happening in the development? The reason here is we are not doing accurate estimation. We are doing relative estimation. Relative estimation is always all about, okay, I know what is the one story point, which is a very simple user story. It doesn't have any complexity. It doesn't have any dependencies or risk. It takes less effort and its business value is also very low. That kind of story, we will plan it with one story point as an estimate value. So now we know that. Now we are going to just compare how much times in comparison with that story, the one that we are estimating is bigger or smaller. Is it 5 times bigger? Is it 8 times bigger? Is it 13 times bigger? Or is it something I cannot even estimate? What is the thing that we are trying to achieve? That is only we are doing. So the first catch here is we need to understand what is one story point user story. That is the very, very important key here. As a team, we should all align on what is that one story point work item. And now that will give us the exact value. Okay, now this story is looks like 5 times bigger. Okay, so I can give 5. And it is not only the effort that we are going to use in the estimation. It is all with different dependencies, risk, complexity, business value, all these things are going to be used in your estimation value. So it is not like, okay, so development effort will take these many days, so these many stories. We are not going to do like that. The first key here is understand the work item in a common scenario, not from the angle of development and not from the angle of testing. That is point number one. Point number two is there is no separation of activity and estimation. Like development will take these many days, testing will take these many days. We are not going to do like that. We are going to estimate as a work item what are the factors that are contributing for the estimation, what is the value for that. Is it 3 times or 5 times or 2 times or 13 times bigger than the one story pointer work item? That means as a team we are identifying, even if there is a testing dependency. Okay, for example, this particular user story needs 100 users to be available in the system at the same time, and some script is required. Unfortunately, we don't have the script. So the testing effort is going to be more. The testing dependency is also more because the dependency is with the script now. But we don't have that. If we don't have that script, we need to do manually, which is going to be really, really a tough job. So we are going to create a script, which is a dependency. And complexity is also more here in this example. So developer may not have this trouble at all because from development point of view, it is a very simple story. But from testing point of view, it is not a simple story. So tester alone is not going to take care of the estimation. As a team, we are going to take care of the estimation. But how to get into that level? In the refinement meeting, we should encourage each and every topic should be discussed, not only from the design, not only from the development. It should also undergo the testing scenarios, documentation scenarios, all these things should be taken care. So when we are discussing all these points, as a team, we all will know what is the complexity. It is not about the work stream, whether it is development or testing. As a team, we know that this user story has dependency. This user story has risk. This user story is complex. So when we all are aligned as a single team, we will be able to estimate it the right way as a team, not as an individual, as a tester or developer. So the first thing is, apart from the work stream, we need to really concentrate on the functionality and the information about the user story or the work item directly, not from the work stream point of view like development or testing. So now we are doing this. What is the advantage of doing this? Let's see some simple examples. Our sprint is in execution mode and we are executing 4 stories, for example. 4 of them are 8 story points and it is keep on going, and team is trying to complete the development, but unfortunately till 8th day they were unable to deliver it for testing. Now there is only one tester. Now actually the tester wants to complete all the user stories, but unfortunately there is no capacity available. Now if as a developer you know all the testing scenarios and you have fair understanding with very little guidance, if you can manage that work, then it is very easy, right? That is what we will do here. If you are very active in the refinement session and you know what are the test scenarios that we are going to cover, and you have already aware of where the test cases are available and what are the major test cases we need to cover, these all things you are aware. From the refinement session, you know what is the testing scope. So now it's easy for you. For example, I have developed a story. It's not necessary I need to test it. That won't give a proper justification. I can pick up the other developers' developed user story and go through all the scenarios. I can recollect from the refinement meeting. In addition, I can also take from the test cases that have been written and start testing the user story. Similar way, my developed user story can be tested by another developer. It is not that I am going to completely sign off the testing. I am contributing my support here as a team. Now I can cover the major scenarios. Now I can just quickly cross check with the tester. I have covered these scenarios. You want something to be covered? Then okay, maybe these all are some negative use cases. Can you cover this as well? Yeah, I will cover it. So now in this way, we as a team, we are able to manage this situation very well, because this is a very practical situation. Most of the time we face it. Second situation, During the initial days of the sprint execution, tester will be designing the test cases, send it for review, and the test cases are ready, but the build is not ready for testing. But still, tester can contribute in the development. For example, in certain scenarios, tester may also have some scripting knowledge, tester also may have some coding knowledge. So in such cases, you can check with the developer from the stand up, because stand up is a collaboration meeting. So in the stand up meeting itself, you will be knowing, okay, one of my team member is actually having too many things to work. Why can't I contribute on the documentation piece? Just get the guidance, and you already know from the refinement what is the scope of that story, what we are trying to achieve. So try to recollect that information, use the acceptance criteria in the work item, start writing the information as a document. Now, just go and cross check with the developer. Hey, this is what I have written. Are you expecting something more to be added in this? Okay, fine, this is good, and send it for review. In certain places, you can also sit with your developer and contribute in the white box testing. When the code is written, in certain places, you can just go through the code. If you have that information of coding, if you have the knowledge of coding, you can just support in that as well. And you can check with your developer, and if he or she is asking you to get the support for the unit test cases design, you can contribute in that as well. So for all these things, skills are important, but at the same time, more than skills, the information what we discussed in the refinement is also very important, because that is the place we are understanding the work item very clearly, and we are understanding the scope of each and everything, and we are going through all the acceptance scenarios. So this refinement session is not only for understanding, it is mainly understanding as a team and not as an individual. That is the main key here. That is the reason we always estimate any work item as a team and not as an individual. And every work item, the logical closure can happen only when all these related work streams like design, development, testing are getting completed. So all the things are equally important for a story closure. So the same way, all the information related to all these activities should be available with each and every team member, so that they can rightly give the estimation value. So this is the view of from the developer and tester point of view. We really need to encourage, as a Scrum Master, in the refinement sessions, the complete active participation on testing, development, and design workstream should be discussed, so that we will be able to understand more and more, and we will be knowing the complete work item, not from the development point of view or testing point of view, as a whole. That will help us in the execution point of view as well. This is the view I want to share about the estimation in terms of development and testing. Thanks everyone for listening. Happy learning, and stay tuned.